Coming at you live from the Vivid Seat Studio in beautiful DNHQ3, also in beautiful Brooks neighborhood, South Pasadena. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. I'm just keep going.
Now they know where I live.
Just talking. You were supposed to just do the whole show.
Oh, it's in my Twitter profile. I forgot. It's okay. Everybody knows.
Yeah, we are powered by the Overtime Podcast Network. What is up, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG. I'm being handsy today on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can find me. Real, not I'm being handsy. It's not the full.
And my name is G-Man Choi, and you can find me beating up on Justin Verlander. What's going on, guys?
But Verlander is untouchable.
Not on 3 days rest or whatever he is.
How are we doing today, Nation? It's so far we are 1 day removed from the awfulness that went down in Washington, Game 4. How are you feeling? How are you recovering from said pains?
From our watch party or from the loss? Because those are two very different recoveries.
That's like we're here at the watch party and then we're all the way down here. Wow, that is a long comment.
I almost threw up at the watch party, and then I almost threw up when we lost.
How did you get that toasted?
I was pretty toasted, yeah.
And
we got Mr. Krajewski in the stream to make sure that everybody's staying calm.
Hello, Richard.
We appreciate that.
Hey, Rick, I have some. Oh wait, I'm wearing your shirt. I'm wearing Rick and the
Booth Boys.
Rick is so unhappy he popped in. But I got some stuff here for you, buddy. By the way, so we'll get you in after we advance to the National League Championship Series. But on today's show, we do got to break down some Game 4 decisions because you're an expert manager. I'm an expert manager. We are more than qualified on Fiverr, I believe, to be Major League managers. The Dodgers are down, but they are not out, as we'll learn a little bit later from an excerpt, we will call it, from our good friend Ross Stripling, who's actually, he's working right now. But Buehler's day on. We're going to bring on our good friend Diamond Hoggers, Mr. Clint Evans. We're going to talk some Walker Buehler. We're going to look at Game 5 and kind of figure that out. And like this guy was talking about, where apparently he was more trash than I knew. We're going to get some party review. Thank yous, and got to thank some of our winners that came out. But, of course, first, you guys see that little bug up there. Not the crooked canvas, but the bug over there. We got to give a shout-out to our partners over at Sportscaster, because at Sportscaster, you can be the star of your own show. You can look like a pro, sound like a pro, even look like Brooke if you're really that desperate. So if you'd like to live stream, if you'd like the game, if you want to be your own broadcaster, visit sportscaster.com today. That is sportscastr.com today. But, of course, after this live stream.
After the live stream, we got a lot of important things to talk about, guys. And there's already a lot of you guys in the stream already. Wow, a lot of you actually in the stream already.
Thank you, guys.
You guys got nothing to do. Guess nobody wanted to watch the Astros lose.
People can multitask.
They can multitask. Don't forget, guys, this is a live stream, so make sure you're dropping your comments. Let us know where you're repping Dodgers Nation. Let us know what's on your mind tonight, because I was gonna insert like a Phil Collins song in there somewhere, but I couldn't feel it out.
Studio. I think that's wrong.
There's something in the air tonight, et cetera, et cetera.
I thank you, Rick. He says thanks. I hate it.
That's happy. A very Rick statement. We should get a shirt with Rick's face that says thanks. I hate it. Yeah, and then hashtag influencer at the top. I'm making that shirt. It's gonna be a great shirt. You're welcome, Rick.
I was going to call Rick and try to make him come out here, but I know he just got home today and he got a ticket. So, in our prayers, bless up.
Parking ticket.
Press a B in the chat.
That's how they get you.
Press a B in the chat for bad timing. Perez1619 is in this chat, so we're ready to go. We're ready to do this thing. Game 4 was frustrating, guys. I'm just saying. We're back. Decision. We have 2-2 tie. Coming back here to LA for a winner take all. It's not what you want. It's not the way you draw it up. But you know what? This is, I guess, what you want home field advantage for. Even though this 2-2-1 thing doesn't feel like a home field advantage, but people have been a little wild on the internet. People have gone all over because this is the most lunatic time of season for social media. But I don't know about you, Brook Me 3, but I feel that Rich Hill did exactly what he was supposed to do, what he was brought on this roster to do.
I don't know about you, but we have more than one Twitch watcher tonight.
Wow.
Perez, you are not alone, my friend. You got like 4 people in there tonight. Starkness 01, Wolf Daddy. That's a good name. I respect the hell out of that.
Daddy.
Yeah, Rich Hill, they were thinking best case scenario, he goes 4 innings.
Yeah.
And I think with that best case scenario, like 4 innings, 2 runs maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what was in a lot of people's minds. He hasn't thrown much, if at all, most of the year, especially since July. That was kind of the thought process. I thought he actually stayed in too long.
Yeah, I could see that.
Given how many guys they had ready to go and primed ready to throw last night. That was last night.
It was last night.
Stupid last night. Given how many guys they had ready to go in the bullpen, how Stripling was going to be the long man behind him, even with a thing in his eye or whatever it is.
Which, by the way, he did not get while here. His eye was perfectly fine.
We are not infected yet.
But
we can be.
Me have
Anyways, he did exactly what he was supposed to. That's what he was there for. He was going to eat up a couple innings early on, almost like an opener, kind of like an opener. So, in terms of how he did, pretty much what I expected, but there's a couple guys along the rest of the way that disappointed. One of them being Mr. Julio.
Julio didn't look good. Pedro,
it's a 97 fastball. I know, 6 inches out of the zone.
I gave Baez a lot more guff. I'm going to say a lot more guff at home about it because I'm so scorned by Baez of Christmas past. But it was a good enough pitch. And what they say, I forgot, and Rick, you probably know the percentage, but like that was, I think, one of the fewest. And what's his name? Doug, our fine post game host. Too many names in the stream up here in my head right now, but they mentioned it last night. He mentioned it last night, and I'm pretty sure I've seen Rick say it. That was one of the only, I think, one of a handful pitches that high in the zone that any Nats hit out this year, and let alone it was Zimmerman, who's I think in his mid 80s.
Yeah. Approximately.
At least in his back and his shoulders and all that. So it's not what you would expect. It's not what you hope. It's not what you want. But this is what in the hand we were dealt, and then that effectively took Kershaw out of the game.
The interesting thing is that Zimmerman is absolutely a fastball hitter, and they brought in a guy who only throws fastballs.
Now, see,
in that situation.
In my infinite wisdom as a Fiverr pro, I'm just telling you, I'm now making this. This is the new thing. I'm going to be a Fiverr Pro manager.
That's good. I like that.
I don't know if you can get a manager on Fiverr, but even so, you let us know in the comments to the side. I would have flipped the script there. I would have gone PD in that situation where they brought in Maeda because you can get more out of Maeda. And the fact that you bring in Maeda, who, granted, it was only one batter, but he looked goodly enough to get out of that, and then you immediately just burn him by going to the coldest guy on your team to hit against Max frickin' Scherzer.
Yep.
Like, I understand not all these decisions are Dave's, and even if that one was Dave's, I also understand you only have a finite amount of guys. You have 25 guys this season, 26 starting next season, but you have these guys. These are the guys you need to use. You need Pollock to do something. You paid a lot of money to get him. And unfortunately, it just didn't quite work out.
No. And why do people hate David Freese so much? Why won't anybody let the man play? He is such a damn good playoff bat, and he cannot get in the he can't get on the roster.
It's the computers, man. The computers hate David Freese.
The man has playoff clutch running through his veins, and he can't get in a bat in a decent situation. Of course, he gets in a bat in the 9th inning with nobody on. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect, Dave. Perfect.
I understand, again, the idea of batting CT3 in that particular situation.
Trying to stay out of the double play.
Yeah, this is where somebody like this guy, Alex Verdugo, being on the roster, I think it makes a lot more of a differencer because you have just one more outfielder that Dave had. He didn't want to burn 2 guys for one spot. Yeah. Freese was definitely the right guy in that situation because, like you said, his blood runs cold. You know the rest. We're not going for the copyrights, but
yes,
yeah. Here it is. No, because we can't afford the copyrights, but.
Or anything, really.
If you pinch hit Freeze, then what did Freeze hit for the pitcher spot, or was that for Jock? I do not recall. No, it's for the pitcher spot. But still, I understand the idea. You're trying to potentially knock him out. You're maybe trying to look at changing the outfield. If you're swapping out Peterson and CT3. But the fact that David Freeze has I think 6 at bats. He went 3 for 3 off the bench on Sunday when we were all happy, and gets just a pinch hit showing in the 9th inning with 1 out and nobody on. on Monday, that's just an abomination to the name of David.
Middle
Goliath
name
Freeze. Goliath. Let me go. With
well,
that.
the
That
thing
makes
is that
sense.
he's getting those at-bats against lefties, which we obviously expected. That's kind of the role that we thought he would fit, and that's kind of the role that they thought he would take on, especially in the postseason. But, I mean, looking at the way everybody else is hit, it's like you might as well put him out there. He's got a better chance of hitting against them than anybody else. I mean, he hit 290 against he hit 290 against left-handed pitching this year. He hit 3-something against right-handed pitching. He didn't get as many at-bats against right-handed pitching, but he still showed that he can hit them very well. Yeah, he hit 361 against right-handed pitching this year, and you still don't give him those at-bats.
He led the team in batting average, again, small sample size. He only played in I think 80 games at most, but I think he hit 315 on the season, and most of that you're saying is surprisingly coming against right-handed pitching. And he even said it after Game 3, Game 3. He was like, I could kind of hit in the regular season too. I sort of know what I'm doing.
I've been around a little bit.
I wonder if that was just a little shot there at mainly it's the computers. I'm just imagining there somewhere you see. Friedman dusting off his Apple II.
Forehand's laptop.
cranking it out. SD Dodger agrees. What's going on, Tim? He says Freeze needs to get all of the at-bats. All of your at-bats belong to Freeze.
Give them to him. AJ Pollock has one hit in the past 7 years or something like that. So, I mean, at this point, you got no time to work out AJ's issues right now. So you hope he comes along in the championship series if we get to that point, but right now we don't have time for that crap.
He's starting tomorrow, right? It's going to happen.
He is. He's 100% starting tomorrow. 100%.
He's one of our guys. He's got us there.
He's absolutely going to be in the starting lineup, and I am absolutely going to lose my mind, and he's absolutely going to hit a grand slam or some crap like that and make me eat my words. So that's how it works out. Speak it into existence.
Perez 1619 says, do they remember that Freeze won a World Series for the Cardinals? I don't think so. I don't think their Apple II goes
Actually,
that far
Nelson
back.
Cruz won the World Series for the Cardinals that year. He absolutely should have caught that ball.
What are you talking about, man? That dude is totally an expert outfielder.
Definitely a right fielder. Remember when they used to have bad players play the outfield?
Nah, I never heard of her.
I miss old baseball.
Oh, let's see. Beto's asking if we can trade batters with the Yankees.
It's pronounced the Jankies, first of all.
Mira, it says Yankees, and I don't think so. I think it's too late. There's something about the roster. You have to you had to have had that in by
there's rules
by the September 1st or before then.
Whatever.
But John DuTemple does not want to see what's his name, Pollock in the lineup, which I 100% agree.
That's fair,
and I think the world agrees with that. I'm just saying.
I think AJ Pollock agrees with that.
Yeah, I can only imagine there's got to be a lot of pressure on the homeboy too.
Can we talk about the fact that Kenta Maeda is the greatest Dodgers postseason reliever of all time?
Maeda's been pretty fire. He's
been solid, man. He's coming to some pretty big spots where I thought he was going to just get racked and come up big. Isn't that weird? Like, that was a guy who you didn't even want starting during the regular season at some points, and then you're like, all right, he's pretty good out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Restructure that man's contract. Make him a reliever.
I've said this time and time again.
Make it good. Make it right.
I was big time on that train in the offseason. $3 million for a reliever per season is still not that bad.
It's not at all. He's going to be 32. He's going to be 32 next year.
Just saying. Let the boy sleep in your bed.
Yeah. Okay.
James has another very good point here. James over on Facebook. I like our rookies, but we shouldn't be playing them. Maybe that's too far.
So Gavin Lux.
I haven't felt comfortable about Luxy.
Gavin Lux does not look good, and the way Russell Martin is hit, just in that one game that he played, makes you think that Will Smith probably shouldn't be in the game either. He is going to be in the game tomorrow, by the way, just so you guys know. So I understand that. Matt Beatty should absolutely be starting. And I understand that people are really upset with him that he missed that 3-0 pitch. A lot of people forget he definitely got the go-ahead on that 3-0 pitch. He just missed it, and he's made some pretty freaking solid contact when he's up there. He just looks way more comfortable than everybody else up there. Even if he's not, getting on base every time. He's stinging the ball. He seems to be making solid contact.
Yeah, his first at bat, that was absolutely stung, and it just happened to go right to Taylor in center field.
Right.
Too many Taylors.
Too many Taylors and too many Turners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lorenzo says you guys are boring. Thank you, Lorenzo. We appreciate that.
Thank
Friend
you.
of the show, Wolf Daddy says CT3 should take second base tomorrow. Now, I'm not opposed to that at all. Even Kike looked good in Game 3 as well. Somebody else. I don't.
It's weird to say that Kike looks decent.
With
like
your
at any point,
with your season on the line, I'm just plainly not comfortable seeing Gavo at second base. I'm not comfortable seeing a dude that only had less than a month of big league experience. Don't touch my happy face.
Sorry.
Less than a month of big league experience be your ride or die or whatever it is for this final game of the season.
Chet Kroll says the rookies should start the guys who got us there. Chet, the rookies got us there.
It's kind of the rookies.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's really an uncomfortable and tough situation, and I'm glad we're not the computers that have to do it. I don't know if this one can process the same way that Friedman's Apple II does, but CT3 at 2B, I do like it. There's a lot of options, and I don't think they're going to be even if it's the ones we like. Not a single, the consensus of us aren't going to like it in some way because that's what we do this time of year.
I don't like anything. I haven't been happy since. There you go. That's good.
Guys, nice but tickets are very cheap right now for Game 5, and it could be even cheaper if you use our special promo code OVERTIME in the Vivid Seats mobile app and save up to $100 on all ticket purchases for first-time customers only. So get out there and watch your Dodgers win at home. I'm just saying. But
we got to fill up the stadium because it's got to be loud, and people are going to talk crap, and it's an early game time, and it's Wednesday in L.A., and people got to work. It's really annoying. I went on Thursday, and that was it 5:30?
Yeah.
5:30 game time?
Yeah.
I got to I parked at 4:45, and I didn't get in the gate until 5:35. Mm-hmm. It was terrible. There were so many people outside waiting to get through security, and it didn't seem like they added any extra gates or anything. They were like, playoffs, same number of people.
Yeah, they really did that quite bad.
Did you go by the left field pavilion when that entrance?
Yes.
They put the big merchandise thing out there too, and so everybody's just walking around it to get to security. And I was like, man, this is a great setup, guys.
Yes, Jesse, OVERTIME is the discount code. That is the full discount code, OVERTIME.
Overtime.
But when I went to that game, I got there a few minutes after the auto gates open and all that, and it was an absolute nightmare. We
don't you just love nightmares?
Certain people I know that drove my car named me and my old lady totally didn't go get my old lady's mom's handicap placard or did not. I don't know. Are you a cop? You have to let me know in the comments below. But
legally, they have to tell you.
They even handicap parking, they still force you to park down lot F and whatever. Just call a trolley dude. They might come get you. That was pretty much it. By the time all was said and done, we or they ended up walking all the way up to the reserve level anyway.
Wheeze.
Yeah. But I still got my Cody bobblehead, one of each flavor. So, but
Raymond called me broke.
We're looking at this series now. Dodgers have scored 19 runs. Washington has scored 14 runs. And it just, I don't know about you, and I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me. It really feels, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys are going to agree with me, it feels like the Doyers have been dominated by national starting pitching because they have. But that's why why?
Here's the good news.
Why do you let that happen?
Here's the good news. We're probably not ever going to see Max Scherzer again this year.
Wait. Where is it? There it is.
I said Scherzer, and Siri thought I was talking to her.
Hey, you're not paying the price of admission, Siri.
That's what I told her. But so that's good news.
That is fantastic.
The other good news is we might get a little Patrick Corbin, which would be ideal.
It's so sad how much they're trying in this series. If and when and if you do happen to pass the Dodgers, Washington, what are you doing next? Who's going to go out there and start? You guys don't have Russell Martin. You can't just go throw him on the bump.
Yeah, you don't have that shutdown closer that also plays behind the plate. Wait. Look, I mean, the Nationals, you saw it from day one. They were going to throw everything they had at this. What was it, game 2 when they brought out Scherzer from the bullpen? Mm-hmm. That's how you knew they were going all in on the division series because they were like, look, we have never won a playoff series before. We need one. We need one, guys. And so with them going all in on it, by the time they get to Atlanta or St. Louis or whoever they end up freaking playing, they're going to have no guys left. The arms are going to be burnt. I think Max Scherzer's thrown 200 pitches in the playoffs already or something like that. Something way excessive. And in a lot of division series, you don't see starters going that deep into games a lot of times, which it seems to be changing up a little bit this year. But it's a good way to have no pitching left for the important games. Where
it shows now more of that weakness in having so many, predetermined scenarios that you're going to adhere to as, the computers or the front office or whatever it may be. As Rick lets us know, the Dodgers are 1 for 20 this season against Strasburg. So, ouch. That's
Shut up, Rick. That just means we're due. That's what all the fans keep saying.
Yeah, that's what hope. Hope in one hand, Brooke in the other. I think that's how it goes.
Interesting.
I lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, no. This really exposes though the this is crap. The air quote computers here, and okay, we know that in 2018 World Series straight up, Alex Cora and Boston, they wanted it. They knew this was their only time. They wanted it, and they went out and got it. They threw everybody, and now this season, Chris Sale fell apart, and they just were plainly bad, so that their executive of the year got fired mid-season.
Tight.
Same thing happened with Houston in 2017. They wanted it more. They threw their starters out there. What we're seeing now is that the managers, the other teams are throwing our boys a curveball, throwing Dave in the front office, a curveball by managing more old school.
Yeah,
and doing everything you can to win that series. And granted, even if Washington just goes and gets swept, if they happen to win Game 5 and goes and gets swept by Atlanta or Yadier Molina, whoever decides to sweep them, they're still going to feel good that they beat us and they advanced one round. That's all they care about right now, unfortunately.
Frank Talk LA says Giambi was safe.
You're not wrong.
Giambi was safe.
That's
and Jeter was 100% out of position, by the way.
What you talking about, man? That's such an iconic play. That was the most important play to ever happen.
Of the most out of position player of all time. I got a lot to say about this, Clint.
Jahuli says can't watch. She can't watch because she's at the fair right now. But do we want a corn dog? You want a corn dog?
Is it one of the big ones? Because I don't feel comfortable eating those.
Maximum eye contact.
Just give me like a normal size.
Another thing we got to bring up, and we're gonna get more into the Game 5 series as opposed to just rehashing what's happened real soon. But our Clint Evans, Diamond Hoggers, did put out a good story on our DodgersNation.com today about the fact that, hey, you know what? We knew about a lot of these problems coming into the series. A lot of the problems that the Dodgers have had all season have really been exposed here. I've called it the wolf in sheep's clothing with the bullpen arms.
Yeah.
And the guys we were really expecting to be the go-to guys, Kelly, Baez, Urias. Kelly has an 18 ERA. He didn't even get an out in Game 3. Baez, 13.5. Urias, 7.36. Those guys aren't getting it done.
I would say those aren't great numbers from what I've heard.
No.
I've never been
You're not a Fiverr manager. I get it.
Yeah, right.
Not even a Fiverr bullpen coach.
Correct.
On the other hand, Kolarek and Maeda, they're the only bright spots. 4 2/3 scoreless innings, so that's pretty to look at. But you also, I understand Dave not wanting to go with that's pretty good. Perez says, isn't Evans the scapegoat whenever I need to have a hot take? No, I do have hot takes on occasion. Yeah, it gets warm in here with the booze. There's also so many times you can throw Kolarek at Soto or whoever it may be, but he's just been downright electric. And one of the other big things is that all season long we've been frightened about the idea of Kenley Jansen. He's thrown one scoreless inning this series with 2 strikeouts, and he's been generally neutralized.
So here's an interesting thought. If we get into a position tomorrow where, let's say we're in the 6th or 7th with the bases loaded, is that a spot you start looking at bringing Kenley in because he's the freshest? He's the guy who hasn't gotten much work, and he is arguably the guy who looks the sharpest, who hasn't been worked that much between Kolarek, Maeda, and Kenley. Because, I mean, if you think about it, they really are going to throw everybody that they can tomorrow to get that win. It's do or die. They have to.
Yep.
So why not bring in Kenley in the biggest situation of the game if the biggest situation of the game is in the 7th inning?
I mean, Dave's been teasing that for months. Oh, yeah, we don't care about the situation. He's not going to guaranteed be the closer or whatever.
Yeah.
We want him to get the biggest outs of the
game. They did that against the Nationals, remember, when they brought in Kenley in the 7th?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kershaw closed it out. I would not like to see Kershaw close it out, by the way. Just
we
my
got
little-
D-May. We got other bodies to do that. for
Anybody
sure.
else can close it out. Give me a Ryu closing game. I don't want to see that. But I think it's a situation where tomorrow you might actually see Kenley come in some early innings, maybe a very early inning, depending on if Walker gets into trouble or not. Ideally, I'd like to see Walker throw 9 shutout innings. That's my ideal.
James over here says no. He will bring in bias.
There you go.
Oh, I wish I had. I only have that. I don't have the boom boom banana.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. So what these guys are saying is that everything has been good except the hitting, pitching, and managing. That's from Brandon Greenwood. Brandon, you just 100% read the show correctly. That's exactly what we're saying.
We're not saying we're intelligent with our takes here. We're bitter and we're angry. We wanted to just get this over with. We look bad to the national media. This is a team that won 106 games, and now we're questioning whether or not we're advancing. And the idea was, I think you're the one who tweeted it. It's like if you can't get past this Nats team in 5, you stand no chance against
Yankees,
Houston,
Astros.
anybody in 7-game World Series.
Oh, I got a lot of hate
Of course
messages.
you did, because you did it on the day it happened.
I'm sorry that I told the truth, guys. Jeez. I'm sorry I'm right. You know?
On the positive side,
Someone told me that the trio of Verlander, Cole, and Greinke are half as good as the trio of Strasburg, Scherzer, and whatever the lefty guy's name is, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, by the way.
Yeah, they don't go to the Magic Velocity School over in Washington.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. One thing that's good, and somebody did bring it up very, very early in the stream here, is that the Dodgers are very, very, very good at home.
They are?
We don't have to worry about the wild wind that was going on in Washington that not only robbed Muncy of a homer, but it also made Cody look outright dumb on a play where eventually a run did score, although that didn't really matter. But once again, as we're back on the wolf in sheep's clothing thing, we were all season long, we were worried about the bullpen in so many words, or so many different aspects outside of Adam Kolarek, oddly enough. But we're also worried about the Doyers' ability to score without the long ball, and that's really been it right here. If it's not, it's boom or bust. We scored once yesterday, and that was on Turner's home run. We felt everyone was happy. We were feeling kosher, and then boom, that's it.
I'm sad.
Less October cold is going to be happening at Dodger Stadium. Did you happen to see the thing that there might be a different ball? They're saying that the ball has changed again.
For the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting, right?
That's what you want to do, baseball. Take away the dinger ball.
Just keep screwing us up every time we try to adjust. It's supposed to be it's going to be a comfortable temperature tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm just looking up the temperature now. I got nothing better to do. Game time's like 72.
Thank you. We're this is close enough to game time, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Jason says, watch out, though. Santa Ana winds are supposed to be kicking up tomorrow. Plus, #shadows. There is #shadows.
I feel like we historically don't play very well in the shadows.
Pixel Clear on YouTube says something very concerning the Dodgers do is that they only score a bunch of runs and then they end up being bad the next game. So in that scenario, this would be a good game. Positive.
I had to add it up. Yeah.
Power of positive thinking.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. The also positive is that in this series, no team has won back-to-back games. Mm-hmm. So logically, you would think that we're going to win, right?
We're going to win. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. Well.
Why don't you set up? I want you to do, because you're such a professional. I want you to do this fine ad read right here.
Oh my goodness!
It's not as many words as you think.
Ladies and gentlemen, while the pursuit of that elusive championship continues for the Dodgers, our friends, our close and personal friends at MyBookie, have great ways to get you in on the action, because there is plenty of action to get into. We're talking every game on the run line, the money line, or the total. Don't know what a lot of those things mean, but I know that they're betting terms. Plus series odds, players props, and updated odds to win the whole enchilada. That's what they call it. Yeah, that's usually what they call it. And that just scratches the surface of what they do. We've teamed up with MyBookie this October to give you this great offer. Sign up at mybookie.ag and use promo code OVERTIME. Yes, again, promo code OVERTIME.
Keep it simple.
And they will match your very first deposit. Again, promo code OVERTIME. That's OVERTIME. And new users get their first deposit doubled. MyBookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid. Good timing on that. That's excellent. I'm really proud of you on that one.
I'm a professional. Frank Talk LA asked if he could run an ad on the show. How much you got? We take.
What does he want to advertise?
We start at Bud Light and we move up from there.
Oh, he's asking if I can run an Anthony Davis on the show.
Oh,
he can absolutely come by. That's
yeah.
fine.
I don't. Yeah, we could fit him in here.
I don't know.
Daniel's being happy. Daniel over here on Facebook says the Dodgers are done. That's what we want to hear, Daniel. We appreciate it. Samuel,
Thank you,
I love me some Jed Jerko. Said no one ever. But I think the important thing to talk about here is that the boys are down, like I said, but we're not out. They've been here, and they've been here often. And earlier, actually, it was last week, before the start of the series, I did have our good friend, Mr. Chicken Strip himself, Ross Stripling, in the studio to kind of give us a bit of a series preview. And I'm focusing here on one part. Pixel, we're going to get to your part of the question here next, as we are going to talk Walker Buehler with Mr. Clint Evans right after this. But this is just the level of confidence that the boys have heading into this series, and really you do feel more gooder after hearing Ross. Out there, an actual cohesive process on it. We're not about that. We're all doom and gloom, man. Yeah, I hope everybody turns off their Twitter at this time of year. It's not a fun place. So apparently the audio was dead on that. I don't know if it was dead the whole time. I'm pretty sure it came back at the end. Should I just do it again? I should probably just do it again. I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah,
it's only
good audio.
It's only like a minute.
Let us know if it's not there.
Yeah. The team, it looks like the Nats sort of built themselves up to try. They knew if we're getting in, we're probably facing LA. Like I said before, I don't know if I said it off the air or whatever it was. I mean, this team looks scary. Help us, help Dodgers Nation, help everybody feel better about this series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll do my best. It's just you can't focus on them, right? You got to focus on us and how good we are, dude. We're so confident as a team. Played really well down the stretch, swept the Padres, swept the Giants, and just heading into the postseason with a lot of momentum. So I think you got to not worry about the Nationals and focus more on how good the Dodgers are. I mean, we set the record for most wins in franchise history, and it's a motivated team, and they've been motivated all year. So I think that should give fans confidence.
This guy throwing realistic thoughts out there, an actual cohesive processes on it. We're not about that. We're all doom and gloom, man. Yeah, I hope everybody turns off their Twitter at this time of year. It's not a fun place. Not a fun place indeed.
I don't like Twitter.
But you know what is going to be a fun place? Dodger Stadium tomorrow, because we got Walker effing Buehler on the mound. And Mr. Evans, what's going on, man? How you feeling about this Game 5?
Gentlemen, good to be with you. There's no crying in baseball, and there's no paranoia in blue heaven, right?
Well, 50-50, depending on which day.
Am I sensing a little bit? All right.
I don't know. It just feels like we've been here so many times. At some point, the clock needs to strike midnight. I don't know if that's...
Listen, I've lost back-to-back World Series.
Personally.
Nothing can hurt me.
Yeah.
No woman, no person.
No woman, no cry.
Weapon.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's it's a little weird to think about that, our winter, doing the things we do, could start 24 hours from now if things don't break our way. I mean, that thought just hit me today. I mean, it's depressing, to think it feels like it was just yesterday we were here. Our season ended, in 5 games to the Red Sox, and it's like I couldn't wait for this year to get started, and it's like it went by so quick, and it's like I can't believe in a blink of an eye it could be done, and we're talking about some crazy scenario are the Dodgers going to trade for Mookie Betts. It's like I'm not ready for that yet. I want to write about and talk about NLCS matchups and maybe us losing a 3rd straight world. No, I'm just joking.
There you go.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Hey man, you're supposed to be the voice of reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I want to be honest. The first thing I want to make clear, I said it on Twitter. I've said it in one of my articles today. Like, I stake my Blue Heaven credentials, my already soiled reputation to it. The Dodgers are going to win tomorrow, in my belief. I mean, I really feel confident about that. I mean, there's times that I'll say like I'm not feeling it, but I really, really feel like they're going to win tomorrow, and I'm not worried about it. This is the spot I wanted. I thought it would go 5 games as long as Buehler's going game 5. I thought, don't panic force him. Like losing game 3, there would have been a decision to throw him game 4 in some wacky scenario, and that didn't happen. We avoided that. We got our guy at home, and there's not a better guy in the game, in my opinion, like to throw in that spot. I mean, this is where he turns it on, and I feel great about it.
Well, yeah. Once again, this season, so much rides on the arm of our beloved Buell dog, and
he's been there before.
He's been there plenty of times before.
Game 163, NLCS Game 7, World Series Game 3, when they're trying to keep the Red Sox down from going up 3-0 on us. The clincher this year, he seems to be that guy that rises to the occasion. He's that guy that we always wanted Kershaw to be in the playoffs or in big moments. And he's that guy that we have, honestly, when's the last time we've had this guy? I can't think of a time where we have had this guy other than maybe Oral.
Yeah.
And that's the only other guy that I can even think of. I love Oral. It's great. But Walker's that guy. And that's the guy that, despite having a rough/weird regular season this year, maybe a weird bounce-back campaign, he is a guy that you feel confident in. And just there was that article that talked about his cockiness and his
bravado.
Exactly.
Bravado.
Yeah. And I love
bravado,
it. I
baby.
mean, that's the guy that you want walking into a clinching game, a game with your back against the wall. That's the guy that you want in that situation. And that's the guy we're getting. And I'm confident in it. I feel good in it. The only question I have is everybody else going to show up to the game? Because, there's more than one guy throwing out there. There's more than one guy playing. Somebody's got to swing a bat. Walker can swing a bat, but he might need some help.
Well, he's going to be followed by Kershaw, and if there's one thing we've learned time and time again is that somehow Kershaw always finds a way to pull a gem out of his ass, when he's in the third.
Strangest times.
Yeah, the third, fourth inning and on or whatever. He'll do some magic. He finds his way. And when you got the Buell dog on the mound, there's a reasonable expectancy that you don't need CK until way later in the game, because
you would hope
the same way Scherzer emptied the tank in Washington in Game 4, you're going to see that out of Walker, and there's no doubt in your mind that he's the type of dude that can give you that 7 innings, and you're going to have a few heart attacks in there, you're going to have a few scares, but he's the guy you want, and he's the guy you want throwing. If you can make a clone of a dude, that's the guy you want.
I'll take 2.
You guys both said it really well. I mean, I'm glad Brooke brought up that article. I think it was out of The Athletic. He's just such a confident guy. It's not something that he's trying to project. I mean, it's who he is, and he's, I think, just one of those rare. You can probably count him on one hand in all of the sport. Like, I think he really strikes fear in the opposition when they're like, they're going to face Walker Buehler today. Like, they don't want to see him. And you guys can think of a few guys around the league maybe that are like that, and you're just like, oh, man, he's coming to town today. And I think that Buehler really does have that effect on, like, big league veterans even. They're just like, man, it's going to be, like, I hope I get a hit today. So, yeah, and it's just like you couldn't ask for a better spot. And, you feel like you can run him out there full throttle if you need to, 110, 115, and then hopefully, like you said, like, I'm just sitting here wondering, does Kenley have to touch the ball?
I think he will. I think they'll find a way, any way they can. The ball is going to end up in Kenley's hand, even if it feels like, why are you removing him right now?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be one of the situations like we saw in World Series Game 4 last year. If it is, I'm going to have some problems. But this is a good question. YouTube. Sam Scherer says, not Scherzer. He's not a Scherzer. He's a Scherer. He says Roberts better let Buehler pitch the whole game if he can. And that brings up a very intriguing scenario here. Let's say Buehler's just dealing, as he's been known to do. He's at 90 pitches in the 8th inning or something like that, or 85 pitches. is he going to still just be able to take care of it? If he's still running if he's still running town, is he going to be able to do it? Like, will he be allowed to do it? Is more.
Oh,
that.
I think so. I think so. I think this is one of those rare
I don't know, man.
spots.
It does.
You guys.
It doesn't check off the boxes on the Excel sheet, though.
It doesn't. But when you look at playoff picture and you look at the entire structure of a playoff is built off of streaks and hot hands. That's all playoffs are ever built off of. If you look at on paper, teams versus teams throughout the course of a season, you can match up teams all you want and think about how it'll all play out. But ultimately, it's going to carry over into how they carry over from the regular season into the postseason. It's all about streaks. It's all about riding players who are hot. Guys who are your best players all year round might disappear in the playoffs, kind of like Cody Bellinger did a little bit early on in the series, and Pollock has done all series. It's all about those streaks. So if you're going to trust your guy, you got to trust your guy, and you got to ride him straight through it because you don't know what's going to happen, especially with, you consider how shaky our bullpen's been all year. If he's in the 8th inning and he's got no runs going for him and he's racking up 15 strikeouts or whatever it is and we're in a one-run game, let him go until there's a base runner on. That's what I say, and I'm okay with that.
I would want the throat stomp of, if we're up by like 10 runs, let Russell close it out.
There you go.
Let Russell close it out.
Can you imagine?
What are your thoughts on the lineup, man? Do you think we see any of the problem children in the lineup tomorrow, namely Pollock?
So I saw a quote about an hour ago. They asked Roberts about it, and I think he said something like, I still need to examine it, but AJ definitely acknowledged that he's not feeling the best or something like that. It was enough. It gave me enough hope that like maybe they're not going to play Pollock. I know there's a lot of debate out there like it's too big of a spot for Beatty. I don't personally agree with that. I think Beatty's taken some really good cuts in all season, but in the series. But more than anything, like Game 5, like just let David Freese have like 4 at-bats. Like let him be in the lineup towards the end of the game. If his turn comes up, just like let him, like don't use him as a pinch hitter. Like I think he could get a couple knocks tomorrow off Strauss, move runners over, like have veteran good at-bats, even if he's not getting hits. He's just a guy I'm hoping is in there. I don't think they'll play Pollock. I just think there's just too much against it, even though the batter versus pitcher history is really good. And I think the one guy that I really have a weird feeling on is I think Seager's going to come up big tomorrow. I think he might, hit a home run or something. I feel like, he took a really good stroke last night hitting that ball off the fence. And I feel like, all series long, he's had 20 and the blackjack dealers had 21. Like he's really, really close. He's not looking bad still. He's like having great at bats. He's fouling off pitchers' pitches. He's right on it. He's just a tick off. And I think Strasburg's going to groove one or something, and maybe we're in that panic spot. We're down 1-0 or 2-0, and Seager has a big breakthrough swing that we've been waiting on just like all season to be his moment, and I have a feeling he's going to come up big for us tomorrow. But I think Blake Williams had it really. He posted what he thought would be the lineup, and I think he didn't have Pollock, but I think he hit the nail on the head. I think that's the lineup we'll see tomorrow if you guys find his timeline, his tweet.
Tim over here, different Tim. Tim Rabara says CT3 leads off. I'm not mad at CT3 leading off. I don't think Jock is the guy for that anymore. I haven't thought Jock was the guy for that for quite some time. I do like the Bader's Taters experience in the lineup for sure. That looked to be an experience for him in left field yesterday, though.
Yeah, that was interesting.
As a prime bench player in softball, I can tell you about struggling in the outfield, and boy, that was it.
Listen, man, it was windy. There were some factors and stuff like that. He's also not an outfielder.
Too. Yeah, Soto has not looked very good. He's got a weak arm out there and all that.
Yeah, you have a bad outfield when Michael A. Taylor has the best arm in your outfield. That's all I got to say about that.
I don't know how that guy has survived the big leagues this long. Hasn't he been like a career 150
9 lives?
He's
like
real.
He's like a Billy Hamilton
one organization.
Type.
Yeah, for real.
One.
Everybody has those guys. They have Michael A. Taylor. We have Jock Peterson. Of course, our version is just a lot better, and a little bit chunky. Speaking of chunky,
Julio.
Serious. I knew you were going there.
Julio, man.
Our boy Julio.
My boy's thick.
The velos dropped a little bit for sure, but it looks like the tamale intake has climbed severely. And I'm a big boy, so I know my fair share of tamales,
as they call them.
boy.
Julio's going to be a great spokesperson for Chompies in February.
Friend of the show, Chompies.
I feel like he's not, and I'm sure there's a stat that probably goes against everything I'm about to say, but I feel like he's not missing bats like the Julio I remember. I mean, I'm watching him the last 2 outings, and it just feels like what happened to that thin kid that like just could blow you away. And I saw his K to base on balls. It's fine. All that looks fine, but like I just feel like when I watch him, he doesn't have that strikeout pitch. And I think early in the year, my thought was, okay, this guy could be an X factor. Like he could be our Hader. He could be our Andrew Miller, like Miller was for Cleveland. And I just think he hasn't emerged to be that. And that's one big reason that, I've lost a little bit of faith in the bullpen because I thought Julio was going to be a real dominating presence this time of year. And I'm still waiting to have that kind of take place.
Yeah, the second half of the season, it absolutely was a less good second half of the season. I don't have the ERA in front of me, but I can tell you it was ERA. All right, that's enough of it. Those two.
You're really just pounding on it. That's the low-hanging fruit right there.
Low-hanging burrito right there. My bad. I didn't mean to.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just saying. But
yeah, but you said it right. He was definitely the guy that we thought was going to be, he was going to be the X factor for us. It's the guy we haven't had that's a spot in the bullpen that we haven't had like a lot of reliability in. And looking at him and his career so far, we thought, you know what? This is going to be great. He's going to be excellent out of the bullpen. He's going to be the shutdown guy. He's going to be exactly what we need. And, well, he's not that. That's for sure. I can say he's not that right now. He did look a little fatigued yesterday in particular. Yeah, he left a lot of balls out over the middle of the plate, which is historically a Kershaw move.
He's gone this deep into a season, this late into a season in a while. I mean, last season he came up and showed up for the after dinner snack and I mean, in the context we're talking about here, guys. If he started breakfast in spring training, anyway. Tim over here, SD Dodger, brings up a good point that I debated whether or not to bring up, but you can't discount the impact of the DV suspension. Of course, when it finally came back around at the end of August, that really derailed his season. It feels like and then they were trying to change his role.
I was just going to say that, Clinton. I mean, they didn't, I feel like, do him any favors in that I kept waiting for them to make him like either the 7th or 8th, like just the setup guy, the 2-inning bridge guy to get to Kenley. And like he just got bounced around a lot, whether they needed an opener or whether they needed a guy to come in the 5th. He never really had a chance to get comfortable in any type of role. Not that has anything to do with the stuff that we're seeing, but again, from a mentality standpoint, it's got to be, he doesn't have a role that he ever got, comfortable in.
And Brooke, let me know if I'm right on this one. It seems like by the end of the season, they were starting to worry a little bit more about that innings count and getting him more prepared for 2020 and that potential rotation spot.
Yeah, there was just the complexity of not knowing where Rich Hill was going to be, not knowing where he was going to be with his injury, not knowing if he had thrown his last pitch possibly of his career, if not for sure as a Dodger. It put him in a weird spot where they're like, we're either going to use Julio as a starter or he's going to be in the bullpen, but we don't really know, so we're going to try to stretch him out. And they tried to stretch him out, and then they didn't need to stretch him out, and it kind of backfired a little bit. And Rick points out to us that his ERA splits were almost identical in the first half compared to the second half, but his batting average against went up about 70 points in the second half. So I think it definitely got to him. I think, with all the things that happened to him this season, combined with the fact that it's one of the longer seasons of his career, he hasn't pitched this deep into a year before. Yeah. It all adds up, and like you said, Clint, it doesn't really help that they couldn't really figure out his role or figure out where he was going to fit into the rotation or the bullpen. There's a lot of factors for the kid. I wouldn't be surprised to see him left off the NLCS roster.
Yeah,
the way it's going.
See Tony Smokes.
That's saying something. And
well, if it's at the getting Tony Smokes on the roster, I mean, I'm sad that he couldn't find his way on. I feel like he could have had a little bit of an impact in some of these games that we're seeing with the scores and stuff. But yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's like you want Urias to be an impact and be part of like the main core that, you know, is a part of this getting back to a third World Series, but it's just not taking shape. I don't know. Maybe something big happens tomorrow and he factors in, but I don't see a scenario where if things go our way that maybe he doesn't get the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, you talked about Tony Smokes. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but that is my bold prediction for the NLCS. Should we make it that far? Is that
would be such a treat?
Is that I think Tony Smokes definitely makes the bullpen. I don't think it's Julio that gets the boot. I think ultimately it's probably a friend of the show, Ross Stripling, that gets the boot. From the roster. I'm so sorry. But, you know, if you had told me before, like if it was before the NLDS, I'd be like, oh, absolutely, Kenta's not going to be on the roster. Mm-hmm. And look at us now. Kenta is everything.
I mean, Strip has... Strip only had... Yeah, no,
he's not scoreless. He gave up the...
But that was aided. That was wind-aided, the one that Cody... muffed out there in center.
That's one way to put it.
Evans, what do you got for if you make it? What is your bold roster prediction or your bold move? What would you change? Assessing this division series roster, and again, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but assessing this division series roster and assessing the needs and looking forward to the next series where you're either playing St. Louis or Atlanta.
Yeah.
What's your move?
So, I mean, I've always actually been really bullish on Stripling. Before last season, I was, okay?
He's just on the show.
That I really like it. But that being said, I was a little upset that Smokes didn't make it over Stripling.
A lot of people were,
Yeah, I'm with Brooke. That's my only move. That's my only change. I would have Gonsolin on the roster. And the biggest thing was like the other night, when Kelly came into that game where we had a commanding lead, like I don't know, I thought that was the spot for you know, vintage Stripling, you know, come in right there and just let us coast. But for whatever reason, they went to Kelly, and I probably had more with them wanting to see Kelly than it did not wanting to see Stripling. But it just kind of Ross has got that feeling to him right now, where like Fields had in 2017, where like they almost like they just don't want to touch him if they don't have to, and I feel like you can't roll through the playoffs with anybody on the roster where you're trying to almost not have a spot for him. And so I don't know. I don't know like what he's providing to management right now. I mean, I know how much we love him and how highly we think of him, but I would have Gonsolin out there. Just he's got that plus arm talent, and I think that he's kind of like Buehler. I think he's a really confident guy.
He does have
stuff.
He has more nasty wipeout stuff. Of course, if we're talking Ross, he's got a nasty curveball, but something plays a good amount different with that slider, and more importantly, that split finger, just to get those ground balls and to kind of potentially extend your inning. Different or an interesting one. Before I get to mine, I like what Ryan's coming up here. We got Ryan, and I'm assuming Steven's going the same way, both on Facebook. Ryan says Joe Kelly should get the boot. He's looked like the April-May version of himself. And now we're looking at September where Joe Kelly was barely in any games, and he looked straight bad. He think his ERA was close to 6 or was about 5.5. I don't know about you guys, but sitting for a week and a half and then coming in for 2 outs in one game against the Giants is not quite my he's good. He's checked off all the boxes. You could say the same about Rich Hill only going 5 2/3 innings,
like total.
Yeah. Since June 19th or whatever. Yeah. But it just felt like, granted Joe Kelly looked good in the first game, looked good enough. He was getting it done, but like what Brooke and I saw early in spring training, he's back to hooking balls a lot. It looks like his body line, he's not on line, and he's just right now he's not the best option. I'd much rather see someone who's right. Get him right, get him throwing a whole bunch, and if somehow you make it to the World Series, you got what you paid for in Joe Kelly. You hope. So I agree with Ryan there, and Steven, if he's on that. Press 1619 says Kelly is hurt. No idea why they think he'll heal properly while playing. He had whole body itis, which I've never heard of.
I've got that every day.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess we all do experience.
That's just called being a human. That's all it is.
My bold move, and people are gonna. I think by now people will finally be on board, and this bold move is almost gonna be an ode throwback to former awful co-host Kevin and general bad person. Hi, Kevin. How you doing, buddy? My move, if we happen to advance, is Kershaw to the pen and May to the rotation. That's my NLCS move.
Wow.
Everybody,
that is bold.
Where is it? And the crowd goes wild because I have control of the buttons. But there's just something different about bullpen Kershaw. And if you have an opener in front of him, 17 World Series, you pitch Darvish that first inning and just throw Kershaw out there, give him the illusion. Brandon Woodruff them. It's really his start.
No, that's rude. That's rude. That's just a bully move.
Why is that a bully move?
I like it.
Oh, to the other team.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the Kershaw. But obviously, we know Kershaw is not going to be okay with it. But
he's a grown man. He can suck it up.
I love it, Clint. It's honestly, I didn't know you were going there, and it's the type of swerve thing that no one would really expect out of the Dodgers, and it adds a whole new dimension. It's totally something we've never drawn up before, and who knows, maybe that's what propels us to get over the hump, something like that. I think that's really cool.
He's got a 0 ERA as a reliever in his career.
He does.
Yep. Ace-like material.
Not many innings, but
you stick him right up there next to Russell Martin, and boom, you have yourself an immaculate bullpen right there.
Untouchable bullpen.
As we just find out that the Astros did lose. So, hey, guys, this apparent World Series rematch, both of the teams are going to Game 5 against the wild card winner.
Yep.
You guys feel better already?
No.
Knowing that they have to – no?
Never felt better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember – I think you were there, right, Evans, when Brooke was doing his jump at Dodger Stadium. He was robbing a fake home run, and I think that's when he had the legendary quote around that same time. You guys remember when we used to be happy?
Still continues.
Yes, I was
Still
there.
Continues, yeah. I'm going to get that tattooed on me because we'll never be happy again.
Remember when we were happy.
I don't know what we're going to do if they ever win a World Series when I'm alive. I don't know how I'll react. I don't know what I'm supposed to – how I can't be sad anymore?
I think you're supposed to go to Disneyland.
You can die happy.
I got banned.
That's
All right, Mr. Evans, thanks for joining us for a good while. Thanks for giving us your thoughts and feelings on so many Dodger things ahead of Game 5. And, of course, follow him at Diamond Huggers on Twitter, where he's going to make you feel better up until probably game time, and then something bad's going to happen, and he's going to go.
Then don't look.
He's going to go full heel, and I'm hoping for it.
all right, boys. Let's get him tomorrow. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Bye. So to wrap up our show, I'm hoping we still have some of our friends of the show here on the stream, some of the friends of the show that were there at the party with us on.
There were a lot of you.
Sunday. But I don't know about you. Apparently, you had a really good time.
I had a great time.
It was the Clearman's Galley was lit. So I don't know what were some highlights for you. The stream taken forever to set up.
Yeah, that was a good part of it. I think the fact that it took so long there was just this tension building, with each pitch. You could feel the energy just waiting to pop off in that place and just waiting to blow up. Even after Soto hit that 2-run home run in the first inning, you could just feel so many people waiting for that moment. And then when that moment finally came and Russ hit that gapper, even before that, there was the home run. So, there's a couple different things that happened. That gapper was really
the big thing was Freezer. Freezer keeping it going.
Just the base hit.
Yeah.
A little boop.
Because right then you knew it's okay, he's going to do it. He's going to – no. Dodgers are 0-1 since the watch party. Master Controls or Mr. Controls or Mr. Controls. Curls?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
Wait. But no, it was we had a good amount of fun, some more than others. Our boss man, he's not here to produce today because he had such a good amount of fun.
He had a lot of fun.
Liquid fun is what we're talking about, gang.
My wife was like, he's having fun.
Yeah. Luckily, my old lady kept ordering a lot of their delicious cheese bread over there at Clearman Gallery, but
we had a lot of cheese bread.
Hey, what's going on, Casting is Trash? Welcome back to the stream. We haven't seen you in a while, I think, or I just haven't noticed your comments. My bad. But we're gonna have a video up, a little hype video, and just a thank you video for everybody that came out to the party on Sunday. Y'all packed the joint. We had some friends. Nerdy Dodger became KTLA famous, and of course, so many other people around there. I think we had Dodger Foodie was part of that particular clip and whatnot, and watching Dodgers Randy hold her laughter in the background while Tatiana was being interviewed was really, really good.
Quality
Stuff. But also giveaway winners. Funny enough, Tatiana won our Ross Stripling signed ball through a totally random drawing that we did, but we gave away so many cool things from our friends over at Vintage Brand that you guys see here. We have the little label right there. Also, we got Foco that both these guys give us so much cool stuff for the studio and to help us out with the party and all that. And somehow, some way, we ended up giving away, on top of the very nice purses that I think all of our wives wanted. I think everybody really wanted those purses, but
I don't think my wife wanted it.
No,
I don't think so.
Wow, she just wanted to go to bed. She really just wanted to go to bed.
We always do.
I know it was almost 7. It was past 7 p.m. on a Sunday.
And I was still out.
But we gave away so many shirts, including there was a line just of the wait staff and whatnot.
Oh yeah, they would not go away.
They were going hard on getting our shirts. So if you have a shirt, send a picture, tag official Dodgers Nation on Instagram or Dodgers Nation on Twitter. Tag us and we'll retweet you. Let us know how you got it, and give us your final score predictions or something. Something like that.
Whatever
floats your pickle and tickles your boat. So what's your final score prediction before we go?
Well, what did I say? I said 6-3 last game.
Were you right?
Well, when we won, what was the final score of that game? I don't even remember. 10-4.
Yeah, 10-4.
Whatever.
10-4.
So I was way off. I'm gonna say 3-2. I'm gonna say it's a tight one,
and we win.
I'm gonna say that Walker gives us 7 innings of 1-run baseball.
I want to just be that guy that says we lose, just so I can be like, okay, I did that for a good reason. But
you should.
But I don't think that's going to work this time. Even the people, the crowd outside,
the crowd goes wild.
Very upset about that. But we got Jose Rod saying 5-2. We got Dodger Man. Hey, that used to be my handle. 5-1 Dodgers. We got some Dodgers in there for show. We got 6-3 Dodgers. We got 2-0 Dodgers. We got a pitcher's duel going right there. All right, fine. Everybody's talking, man. The Dodgers are going to win, and I think it will be a tight one for sure. It's probably going to be let's go 4-2. 4-2 is it.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
That's all I had. I don't know if you have anything.
Pixel says Walker pitches 7 innings. Perez says 5-3 Dodgers. A lot of I saw some Astros fans in here. I saw some who's the team? The Nats fans in here. Where are y'all at? Where you at? Kershaw's going to pitch an inning and 2/3.
That's a good guess.
Pixel says also Ryu pitches 1 inning. I don't think that happens. I just don't think he's ready for it. Brian Hatfield, 4-2 LA. We got Bree Shields, 4-2 LA. Bill, thank you. Bill Vallejo on Facebook says Dodger walk-off.
Oh, that would
there
be
any better way for this team to do it? For this team to do it?
Not for this team, no. Frank Talk LA says 8-4 Dodgers. I like that score, Frank. That resonates well with me because then that means we can load the bases and they can only tie the game in the ninth. That's how I think about things.
Gaston says 19-0 Nationals.
If that's the final score of this game, I will never watch another Dodger game ever again.
That's
you can write that down.
You know that.
They're not gonna lose 19-0. Oh shoot!
You let us know. No, this is gonna be a lot of fun, or it's not.
Allegedly,
or it's not. Either way, just
I probably won't watch.
Drink a fair amount, not too much. I apparently will only be playing softball. Not other people that are on my team will not be there. Just saying, but I will be bringing a TV and watching. And I'll be joining our fine postgame host. I'm not going to personally join him, but I'm going to be watching along our DN postgame show. Join Doug McCain after the show. That's at DMac_LA. He's going to be either celebrating with you and popping bottles, or he's going to be crying and taking a lot of very angry questions from y'all. and comments and all that fine things. So make sure you guys are locked in here. Oh, I just realized I was supposed to switch back to that camera. My bad, guys. It's like Evans has been gone for a while. He will take a lot of he's there. He's ready. I think we were both just like wailing on him just in case.
Yeah.
Be ready.
He's a pretty good punching bag.
And you guys can get prepared for all of that fine stuff or even deal with the aftermath of a positive or a negative outcome. Find us on the internet. We are DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heaven on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, so many more outlets.
It was rolling right. I was just kind of rolling with it. I'm BrookMe3. You can find me as such on Instagram and Twitter. This guy over here is at RealFRG. We together are G-Man Choi fans, and we are at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at official Dodger Nation on Instagram. Huge thank you to our crack production team, which is you. That's you over there.
That's me
right
today.
There, on there.
That's why
and
Evans
that guy that walked by
on
the door
screen.
and said something about his son Manny or something like that. Thank you guys all for your questions and your concerns.
Wait,
and
are you here Thursday?
Am I here Thursday? Yeah.
All right.
We're doing Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.